Okay, and we're live. Welcome to our Business 483 BzzAgent Case Study. Today is Saturday the 27th at 12:41. What are we, Central Time, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Um, so,
I
let's
can
see here. Ask a student to offer an opening prayer.
go ahead and say it if you want.
Okay, great.
Dear Heavenly Father, we thank Thee that we can be gathered here today to meet, and bless that we can have the Spirit with us, and that we can learn something new, and we can go through this case study. And we ask these things, Father, in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Okay. Um, well, do you have any spiritual thoughts? I don't.
No, not this week.
All right. So, um,
Okay. What does BzzAgent do?
so what do they do?
They're just basically a kind of word of mouth marketing firm, offering. I actually really liked their concept. I thought it was really smart the way they were offering companies the opportunity to get their products to real people and have them talk
Yeah.
about it. Yeah. I
Yep.
thought that
No,
was,
that's how my dad does his product is word of mouth.
yeah. That's super good. And then,
Um, so what about the product market fit? Have they demonstrated demand they can profitably serve? What'd you get for that one?
I put that it looks like they have like really demonstrated their product for that they were profitable within the first couple of years. Making, I think it said somewhere that they were making like a 25% profit margin on everything they did. Um, and the case said also somewhere that I believe it said that the market size was going to grow by like 100% every year. So I would say that they like have been demonstrated that that they could fit um in the market, and it was a good market.
I like that. Um, so all I put was I just quoted the case study
Mm-hmm.
um, saying that after the success of the fraud kit campaign, um, the BzzAgent began to grow quickly, attracting businesses from clients in a variety of industries, including such big names as Anheuser-Busch, whatever, Ralph Lauren, Airtran, and Lee Jeans. So just the fact that they're able to attract those huge businesses
Mm-hmm.
proves that they could pretty much market any product they want because not only are they attracting big names, but that's a variety of different products.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so as long as the product itself is not like a scam and is actually working, it actually meets a need, they can market it
Mm-hmm.
at at a better rate than anyone else can.
Yeah,
Um,
sure.
so
What makes
what makes them successful? What you
I
got?
put for that the fact that they work sort of as a facilitator. Like they don't have any cost really other than finding people to give products to and like collecting their data and like things like that. But their costs are really low. Like they mostly just organize and collect data. So I feel like it wasn't as expensive to them because
Yeah.
people want free, yeah, people want free stuff and they love talking about it, so that's what makes them successful.
Mm-hmm.
Because like that cost wasn't to them, like that was like giving out the free products to people to try was more at a cost of like their clients and like those companies, so they didn't really have a lot of expenses.
Yeah. I thought it was interesting how um, the table A
Mm-hmm.
how they um, what's the word? Categorized their costs.
Mhm.
Having like a creative cost, a copy cost, a printing cost, a shipping cost, and a product cost.
Mhm.
I haven't. I'm not familiar with servicing
Mhm.
charts and how they create their costs and how they determine their expenses.
Mhm.
But I imagine this would probably follow suit along with any other servicing, um, any other service, I guess you could say, service company.
Mhm.
Um, so, but it works. So, uh, like you said, they got a 25% profit margin for, well, they're able to maintain a 25% profit margin for
Mhm.
their different clients. So they understand their costs and they understand how they're doing it. So they know what they're doing. Yeah.
Yeah. Looking at table A. Sorry, I'm trying to pull up the case to look at
Oh,
table
you're
A.
fine. I can go ahead and read the next question.
Yeah.
Calculate the growth rate from the beginning of 2002 to the end of 2004, and from the beginning of 2002 to the end of 2006.
Is
So
that what
for
you did earlier that you were showing me? Is
what?
that what you did? The growth rates
Mm-hmm.
that you were showing me earlier?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
didn't really know how to do it. So.
go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I really didn't know how to do it, so I just kind of.
I googled it, and thank goodness for Investopedia. That answered pretty much every question. Like I don't know if you used Investopedia for this at all,
I
but
kind of yeah.
yeah, they the way they explain it, all these different business terms and business equations is
Mhm.
really clear and concise. Um, so I used for the growth rate, I used the CAGR or the compound annual growth rate because it is compounded.
Mhm.
Um, so the the formula for that um, is you have your ending year and then you divide your beginning year and then to the power of 1 divided by however many years
Mhm.
you're from the beginning year to the end year, and then you minus 1. So that's what compound annual growth rate, that's what it is.
Mhm.
Um, and that's the equation of how to do it. It's pretty much it, really. Um, so I did that, and from 2002 to 2004, there was a here. Let me screen share
Okay.
just so the brother Nebuchadnezzar can see.
Mhm.
Okay, how I got this. So share. Okay, so taking you back to my Excel spreadsheet, I've got this little notes thing over here. Where are you, notes? Okay, so yeah, I did it for each year, and then from 2002 2004, you do that, and that's 2 years. Um, so your answer is 563% growth rate. And then from 2002 to 2006, there is a 328% growth rate. Now, as you can see, year by year, the
Mhm.
growth rate does decrease, or the rate of the growth rate, I should say.
Mhm.
Um, and that decreases by 37.5%. So even though their growth rate is increasing 328% overall in the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, um, the rate of the growth rate is decreasing.
Well, yeah. I mean, eventually, like they'll plateau. I mean, like, just like any.
Yeah, and that's natural.
Mhm.
I think that's natural for any business because you'll have the product launch and then you'll have this amazing, awesome growth, for some stuff, for some successful companies, for any successful company. But then every successful company will have its leveling off point. So I think it's beginning to level off, which is why I think the timing for the fundraising is pretty spot on.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, I'm gonna stop my screen sharing now. Okay. What's the next question?
How profitable is? Well, I think we covered that. Calculate the growth rate, and then how satisfied are you with the revenue growth? Well, I think we kind of covered that too. Like, although their growth rate was pretty, it is pretty good. I'd say in the beginning it was, but then again, like any other business, it will eventually plateau.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I think
now the thing with this is the 3 years. The first 3 years of actual data, it was increasing, but it was pretty variable. So I just questioned their forecasted numbers. So I said, with such variability in their growth rate on a year-to-year basis, I find it difficult to really predict what will happen. However, they do seem to have an overall increase in net income and net margin. So that's what I got for that one. So with the operating margin, okay, yeah, that one, I didn't really have any. I don't know.
Isn't that just how much of each dollar of revenue is left after all their operation costs are considered?
Yeah, so it's the operating margin is determining how much work is going into the $1. Yeah, your expenses for every dollar you get, right? I think, is that it?
Yeah.
And so I don't know, their operating margins.
There's vary a lot too, though, if you look at it, because it goes from 114% 1 year down to 2% the next year, and then
so yeah, their operating margin went from 114.69% to 2.61%, then to 11.74%, then to 27.75%. So they had this their first year was a huge operating margin, which is good. And then it dropped. And then it started to rise again. The reason why it dropped was because they got a lot more agents that they had to pay for their work that they were doing for the company. So their expenses increased. And I think that's why it dropped.
I mean, it's an average of a 25% operating margin, okay? Because
I guess you'd have to compare it to competitor companies. So I really don't know. Because that's the thing, it doesn't give you the operating margins for their competitors in the case study. If it did, we could say with certainty that, well, compared to company A, their margins were, 20% better over a period of 3 years, um, or whatever. But there is no data for their competitors, at least profit margin data.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you saw it somewhere where I didn't see it.
No, I didn't see. Yeah.
So yeah, there's nothing to really compare it against too. So that's why I couldn't answer that question.
So I guess we can just move on to number
Yeah.
1. So if BzzAgent is growing and profitable, why are they raising money now? For that one, I put that, like, if there's anything we've learned throughout the cases, is that, like, if you don't expand fast enough, then you end up not obtaining the potential that you could. And so I felt like they were raising money now in order to have, like, to gain different capital in order to expand. So it allows them to pay for things that they need to pay for, but also keep expanding at the same time.
Yeah. Because and that's the other thing I didn't see was, it didn't, I didn't see anywhere in the case study where it gave us like an amount of how much it would cost to expand. All it says in the case was that he needed, that they wanted $10 million to expand the company. So I would have liked to have seen maybe like a predictable cost chart of how much it would take to expand, and then see how much they wanted to expand. Now let's see here. Okay. So my answer for that was, they wanted to expand, so they put their focus on media by developing additional operation capacity for a media focused team. They also wanted to buy back shares from some investors to give founding management a bonus. And also, like you said, they had a bigger potential. They needed to expand. Also, their growth rate was starting to level off. So if they wanted to increase that, now would be the time. And raising capital would be one way to counter the plateau effect that they were headed for.
Yeah, definitely.
Because they were heading for a plateau. It seems pretty obvious. Yeah. Okay.
And they were heading for it really soon, because wasn't it after like the 3rd or 4th year that they were like starting to?
By year 2004, they were down to 180% growth rate from 260 the year before, and the year before that 1,122%. So yeah, they were definitely starting to level off.
So, do you think they could succeed without the VC funds?
I don't know, because it did say that they had just recently been printed on the cover of a New York Times magazine that revealed the corporate manufacture of word of mouth that had attracted a lot of new agents and new clients. So it seems like that article may have given them a little bit of boost. It didn't exactly say how much of a boost, but I still don't think it would have been enough to get them to expand in the way that they want to expand.
I think they would have been fairly productive. Like, they would have been a fairly productive business without it. But again, it goes back to, like, if they wanted to keep expanding and grow a lot faster, they need those funds.
Yeah. Yeah, especially if they want to have the marketing, especially if they want to have like, up to 40% of the marketing industry. Because they only had got up to like 7%, which is still a big dent, especially for such a young company. To take 7%, I think is what they said, of the marketing industry. But they wanted a lot bigger percentage of that. So, yeah, they needed it.
Okay, so what did you get for the question about how much money does BzzAgent need? Because I didn't get that one.
For that one, in the case study, it said that he wanted to raise $10 million.
Yeah.
So that's what I got. That's what I paid. I just paid that. Bolter wanted to raise $10 million.
Okay, because I didn't know if it was just asking for that or if it was, because again, it didn't give us like a breakdown of like their like expanding.
Their expansion cost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so I didn't really know what to put for that one.
All right. So, open your spreadsheet, compare 50 million valuation on a $15 million investment. Using your spreadsheet, discuss the math you used to calculate your answers on the tab entitled 2 VC return requirements. Okay. So, explain the math for sheet VC return requirements.
Oh, dang, we did that earlier too without recording. So.
Yeah.
But it's fairly simple. We went over it a little bit beforehand, so.
But yeah, I mean, pretty much. That's the capitalization table. Oops. How you got the value of the investor share at exit is you take the investment, you times it. You're fine. You're looking for future value, which is simply taking the amount you invest, you multiply it by 1 plus the interest or the rate of return, and then you put that to the power of however many years. In this case, it's 5 years. So with a $50 million investment at a rate of 1 plus 30% at 5 years, to the power of 5 years, the value of the investor share at exit is 55,693,950. And then so this one was interesting for the value of the BzzAgent at exit. You take the reciprocal of basically you take the reciprocal. How do I explain this? My thing. So dividing the future value of the investor's investment by the percentage owned by the investors gives us the total amount of the investment worth and the value of BzzAgent. In other words, if the investors funded BzzAgent's $50 million with a 30% rate of return at 23.1% ownership, this would bring the value of BzzAgent to $241,340,450. The investors would get 23.1% of that, which is $55,693,950. So basically, the 55 million is 30% of the 241 million. Yeah. So to get the 241 million, you just multiply by the percentage the 23.1%. Okay.
So, yeah, how do these growth expectations affect your view on which term sheet is more favorable to management?
And yeah, I think we did go over this earlier, right? As well.
Yeah.
So yeah, at 80, at 80% of the value, they would be getting 55.6 million less than the amount that they would take away at the investors' terms, of getting 76.9% ownership. So yeah, either way, both sides come out more with the investors' terms than with BzzAgent's terms, basically.
Yeah.
Is that what you have?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay, so go to tab entitled 3, cap table, compare responses. Yeah, we went over this one too a little bit.
Yeah, we went over this one. And to answer question 7, why is the price per share of the VC term sheet very close to that of the BzzAgent term sheet, but the value to the current shareholder is different? Is because the amount of shares is different.
Mm-hmm.
So the price per share might be the same, but the amount of shares is different, which is why the value is different.
Yeah.
And so what did you put for why is more important to you? What is more important for you as a founder?
Oh, I put as a founder, I would focus more on how much, like on the current shares, because depending on how much current sharehold, like, just I would focus more on how much percentage of the ownership I have of the company, as opposed to, like, as an investor, I would care more about the price per share, because the price per share is how much essentially I would get out of my investment.
Yep.
How much more money I would be getting from my investment through the share, through the price.
Yeah.
And so that's what I put.
Yep. Now, with that being said, with the different terms, even though share is more important for the founders, the series, the investors' terms is still going to bring a better outcome for them as far as shares and the value of the shares. So, the only thing is they, I think the term was that they couldn't, was it that they couldn't buy back shares?
I think it was only, this was in the beginning, that they can only, the annual cumulative dividend payable bond, they can only redeem them or get them paid, like, from liquidation or redemption. So yeah, they couldn't really buy.
Yeah. So I don't know. To me, if I was a founder, even though the investors, get 23 versus just 20%, with the amount of valuation they're offering, I would take their offer over my offer, because in the end, I'm going to make more from their offer and they're going to make more from their offer. Whereas with my offer, with the BzzAgent's offer, even though I hold more of a percentage share than they do, I'm not making as much and they're not making as much.
That's how I saw it.
Okay.
Because even at the end, like, the value of the budget at X, oh wait, I'm on the wrong. But yeah. Okay. So go to tab and tab. Did you did the class prep worksheet, huh? Um, can you hear me? You still there? Mm-mm-mm. No. Hello. Oh shoot. Oh. Dang. So apparently Matt's computer shut off without any warning. So we're momentary standstill.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. Oh, I cannot believe it did that.
It's okay.
Literally, all of a sudden my screen just went blank and I was just like, no!
Yikes. Do you still have all your stuff up though or not? It was just kind of a
No, everything. I was lucky because when I went back into Chrome, it said, "Do you want to restore all your pages?" But I knew that would take forever, so I just said no. I went back into Google Hangouts on there, and thank goodness it automatically saved our uh, our thing.
Oh yeah.
All right, so sorry about that. Oh my goodness. Wow. Okay, that was a nightmare. All right, let's get back to this case study and get done with it.
Okay.
So I'm just opening up my Word document, and I gotta open up my Excel document again.
You did the class prep worksheet tab?
I did it all except for the last question.
Okay.
Please tell me it saved my stuff. Okay. Lately, this computer hasn't been saving a dang thing. Come on, seriously?
Have you gotten checked? Like, do you just have a PC or you have a Mac?
I have a PC. It's a Gateway. Stupid. It sucks. Hold on. I'm just trying to recover my Word document here.
Oh, no, you're fine. I wonder how many videos he has to sit through and watch. Like, like. Oh, Medusa.
Where are you? Do not tell me. Oh no.
Are you trying to open up your Excel or your Word document?
Okay. My Word document. Let's see if there's a. Okay, here we go. Okay, so where's this? Okay. All right, I'm back in. All right. I'm back into my Word. Gotta open my Excel and I'll be good to go. Okay, there we go. All right. Okay, I'm officially back, good to go.
Okay.
So
We're on.
discuss your responses to each question. Okay, for the class prep worksheet. Okay.
First one.
Said, my original opinion was that the VC terms or the investors' terms were a better option for the company because of the amount of value added. The 30% added value to the company allows the company to grow quicker and in the long run, which allows the owners and company to pocket more money. And I guess I didn't finish that sentence there. And basically, if they went with their original plan, both sides would pocket less money, and the business wouldn't grow as much as it could with the investors' terms.
With the BzzAgent terms, you mean?
No, with the company wouldn't grow as much with the BzzAgent terms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I put. I put that even though, like, what's it called? Like, ownership wise, investors would only be, there's only like a 3%, 3.1% difference of like how much the investors would own. So it wasn't really like a big, lost to them. And I put that I liked that even their option pool, like, because ownership wise, like, they would lose a little bit of ownership, but they'd, because from my understanding, the option pool is like an incentive, right, for
Mm-hmm.
people to come and work with them.
Mm-hmm.
And so I put that with that 17%, I was that they could get like find the right people to make their business really expand in the way that they wanted to.
Yeah,
And they would
I
still
like that.
have more owner, like they'd lose a little bit of ownership, but they'd still have like majority. Where's my
Mm-hmm.
so, and then
Yeah. Go ahead.
oh no, I was just gonna read number 2, but what's up?
Oh no, I was just agreeing with you that um, they would definitely. Um, I know for me, it's like you can be you can have a great like if you're a basketball player, you can have a great score in the game, and you can have 35 points or 40 points. But if you're on a losing team, then you're still on a losing team.
Yeah.
So the investors' terms gives them to not only be the best players that they can be, I guess you could say, but it also allows them to be the best team that they can be. So,
Yeah.
all right.
And so the VC term sheet describes a more investor friendly board. How much valuation would you have to give up in the VC term sheet in exchange for getting a board structure initially proposed? I put 5 million. They'd have to forego at least 5 million for that one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I got. Yeah, they'd have to at least forego 5 million, but I wouldn't go any lower than 10 million.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so
And then number 3, the BzzAgent term sheet described a planned distribution of approximately 3 million to management for current investors immediately prior to the transaction. What is your opinion of the merits of such distribution? That's the one
well,
you
was that for is that for going to the B case? Is that question asking about the B case or the A case?
I don't think it's asking. I think it's just saying that like he planned, like from the term sheet, that he just planned on like once the transaction was done giving an extra like $3 million to management and investors, like kind of like a bonus kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so for that one, I just put that Balter was probably thinking like everyone is working hard, they deserve a little extra. But from the like VC's perspective, they might think that's like a foolish move, or that's a lot. Like investors probably aren't thinking about what is gonna put in, but what they're gonna get out from
Yeah.
their outcome.
To me, it just seems kind of greedy, if you ask me. Um, it's like, yeah, I understand that, your management's working hard, but, you got to do what's best for the company. And sometimes that's at a sacrifice of your own costs,
Mm-hmm.
your own revenue. So if you're management and you take 3 million out, that's got to come out somewhere. So it's going to cost your company. So it's you or your company. What would you prefer? Um, they can take 3 million out, but um, as far as merit, there's no merit for it. It's to me, it just seems selfish and unreasonable.
Mm-hmm.
So, what do they want to each have their own yachts?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. So that's what I put. I thought it probably didn't go well with the investors, it probably didn't sit well with them. But now as a group read, did you read the case, the B case?
No, I was gonna wait for the group discussion to do that. Have you read it? Are you there? Oh, looks like you cut out.
Was that my computer or you or?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I don't know what happened.
That's all right.
Dang.
That's all right. Okay, so I could not get onto case B study.
Did you do the poll for it?
I did the pre-discussion poll.
You have to do there's another link to the BzzAgent poll, so you have to do that before you can access the actual case. Do you see it?
Which poll is it? Is it the BzzAgent poll?
Mm-hmm.
That's okay. BzzAgent poll. Okay.
So you just have to do that one real quick.
All right. This should just take a couple seconds. All right. All right. I'm gonna try it again. Let's see if it'll do it. Here we go. Got it. Okay. So let's see here. What are we supposed to do? Go to the tab. Okay. So now as a group, read the raising capital at BzzAgent Case. As a group, decide which offer you will take, if any. So have you already read it?
Yeah, I like read over it before. Sorry.
Okay. Let me just scan over it then.
Yeah, you're fine. Take your time.
What the heck? Come on. It's being retarded. Okay. There we go. Okay. All right. What did you think?
So mine was honestly between A and B, but I ended up deciding on firm A.
And why from A?
So they were saying that right here, out of the 11 firms, firm A and firm D had the best chemistry and fit. And if you look at it, they had pretty good scores. So I don't know, like, because when I first, I don't know if you did this, but like me, at first, I was reading it wrong. Like, 1 was the best and 11 was the worst.
Mm-hmm.
And so they had like the greatest score overall. Like they had the value like added. They had, the domain, they had the expertise, the chemistry, the effort. Their catch it wasn't as good, but I feel like I don't know, it wasn't as good as like
Everything else made up for it. Yeah.
So that's why I went with A. I don't know, what did you?
Yeah. I liked A and from D.
Mm-hmm.
Those were my top two. So, boy, between from A and from D,
well, I saw because firm D, like I was kind of like, I was considering D too, but if you think about it, like
wait, D or B as in
D. Did you say D?
Okay. Yeah, D as in dog, yeah.
Yeah. So they didn't really have, like, if you look at their chart, the value added, they didn't like, they had the worst out of all.
Okay, yeah, I see that.
They
Yeah.
didn't really like have value to add to their company. And like as a founder, I wouldn't, like it would be no use up to me.
Yeah. No, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So.
All right. So Group A.
Yeah. Wait, do you have a Word document like going?
For the questions, yeah.
Oh, because I was gonna say it says to create a Word document.
From last year. Isn't that crazy?
Because I was gonna say we have to submit a Word document for it, and I was gonna say if you had like one open already, if you didn't mind, just.
Yeah. Don't mind at all. Group A. Okay. Let's see. I just have to type in what is more important to you as a founder. Okay, but I think we're good. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the broadcast.